What is up, party people? I am EJ, you are you. This is my channel where today, for old acquaintance be forgot, etc., etc., it's almost the new year. And you know what the new year is time for? It's time for lists. It's time for ranking. It's time for reflection, perhaps. And today I'm going to do all three by making a tier list of all of the games that I played in 2024. That's basically all the introduction that this needs. So let's get into it. Okay, so these are the 26 games that I played in 2024. I almost capped the list at 24 because I thought, that's nice, but I didn't. I decided to be truthful. My memory, not that great, never been that great. So I might be forgetting something. And honestly, I don't even think you can see the full list right now, so whoops. Now these games, I mostly played on stream or for like a video. There are a few games on here that I played off stream. Not a lot though, because if there's one thing that putting together this list did for me, it's reminded me that I very rarely play video games not for content purposes. I feel like we could reflect on that. Maybe. Now you may notice that there are games like Stardew Valley, Call to the Lamb, games that I did not play for the first time in 2024, but then games like Animal Crossing, which I also did not play for the first time in 2024, but did play in 2024, that are not on the list. Basically games I feel like I had like a new experience with in 2024 got included on this list. Now we must get to the subject of the tiers. I don't like SABCD. I feel like that leaves some whimsy on the floor, and no whimsy on the floor here. So let's rename these. Okay. S tier. We're calling this tier top 5, which, you know, my goal is to have 5 games up here. We'll see. A tier. We're gonna call these honorable mentions. These are games that I really liked, but like, I don't think they're in my top 5 of the year. We're gonna call this one, meh, neither here, neither there. I'm gonna call this C tier, YouTuber Son. It's a game that I had high hopes for. It's a game that I was rooting for. And then I just was disappointed in how it turned out. Note here, my parents actually think it's really cool that I'm doing the YouTube thing, just so we're clear. They're not disappointed in me. This isn't a reflection on them. Last but certainly not least, we're gonna have the DDV tier. I don't even know if any games are gonna fall into this, but this is a game that I actively disliked playing. So let's get started. These are not in alphabetical order, so get over it. We've got Little Kitty Big City to start us off. So Little Kitty Big City is like, you are a cat, you fall out of a window, and you're in the big city now, and you're trying to get back up to the window. But to do that, you have to like solve all these little quests and get these little things and like upgrade your abilities to like make it able for you to like scale your apartment building again. There's crows, you know, there's ducks. There's people that you can fuck with. It's great. It's very cute. I think children would get a kick out of it. And I got a kick out of it as a 30-year-old. So speaks to all audiences. Now, as for what I thought about it, I liked playing Little Kitty Big City. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it was like my favorite game of the year. It was a pretty quick game, but like I came away with it. I felt good about it. I enjoyed the time that I spent playing the game. So that's a win. Okay, I already want to add a tier. I'm adding a tier between honorable mentions and meh for games that were like thumbs up. That's what we're gonna call it. Great. Little Kitty Big City, thumbs up. Great time, not my favorite, but like not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Next up we have Echoes of Plum Grove. So Echoes of Plum Grove is essentially like a farm sim, but set in like colonial America, but like colonialism doesn't exist. But Mystera does. It's a farm sim where you can die, where the people around you die, but they have children. You need to have a child so that you can like pass your farm onto the heir and then you play as the heir. I loved the idea of Echoes of Plum Grove. And you know what? There's gonna be a few games in here that just fall prey to the fact that, again, most of the video games I play are on stream. I do have a kind of a complex about this because I'm like, why don't I play video games off stream? And I think most of it is just because I'm fucking busy, okay? All this to say, Echoes of Plum Grove, I think I would enjoy. It's a game that I feel like I would need to invest like 20 hours into, and I feel like I could invest 20 hours into, but I just didn't. So my feelings about it are like, kind of like, okay. Oh no, I think I'm gonna have to put it in meh. And again, as you can tell, hopefully from this like nuance that I gave you, it's not because I think it's a bad game. Next up, we've got Hades 2. Hades 2 is a sequel to Hades 1, obviously. You play as Melinoi, who is the god daughter, not goddaughter, but like daughter who is a god of Hades and Persephone. Like the Titans are like coming back. Kronos is the big bad, and he's like trying to fuck with everyone. So you're going out and trying to like defeat him or whatever. And it's a roguelike. You go, you beat him up, you die, you go back to the beginning, and then you like power up, and it's good. It has some of the hottest characters around, frankly, and they leaned into the thirst this time, I would say. The first game was thirsty. This game is like, get it on an IV drip. It is dehydrated and it's gonna die. And this is so silly because it's not even out of early access. And honestly, I didn't even play it that much, but I just like, listen, the original Hades is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Obviously, I'm gonna like Hades too. And you know what? I did. I think it's a great, like, continuation of the series. I think it like introduces enough good things that I'm like, great, this is a new game. It introduces a bunch of new characters and story. Obviously, it's a completely different setting almost. And it has like enough fun callbacks to the first game that I'm like, I remember that, you know? I love it. And even though it's early access, I think Hades 2 is in my top 5 for the year. This, I will say, is a game that I played off stream and on stream. Anyways, next up, oh no, we have another game that I really liked. Return of the Obra Dinn. So Return of the Obra Dinn is like a ship comes back and everyone on it is dead or missing. And you're trying to figure out the fates of like, I think there's like 60 something people on this boat. And so you have this little stopwatch. And if you see a body, you can hit the stopwatch, pocket watch, whatever, and it'll take you back to the moment of their death. You hear it, and then you get like a snapshot that you can like walk around in. Very cool, very fun, lots of like deduction. It's a one big logic puzzle, basically. I loved Return of the Obra Dinn. Like, Return of the Obra Dinn is so good. I just loved playing it. I love a puzzle game, I discovered. A good puzzle game, whew, really works the old noggin. I love it. I think I might put this in my top 5 too. The top 5 I'm kind of intending. I'm gonna throw a bunch of shit up there and then I'm gonna have to cull the herd at the end, you know? Next up, we have Oblets. It's like a creature collection game meets farming, but not that creature collection game meets farming. This is different. You grow the creatures and it's like very like whimsical. It's like capital Q quirky. And like, there's this really weird plot. It feels kind of like Adventure Time 3D, the like graphics and stuff. You farm your creatures, you dance battle them with other people, and that's that. I liked Oblets. It was fun. It's cute. It's cool. It's a game that I think if I didn't play it on stream or for content, 1, might not have even played it to begin with. 2, might have played a little bit, but maybe not have pushed through, because I think my enjoyment of it came like 5 hours in. You know, that's when I really was like, oh, Oblets. I really liked it. I don't think it's top 5 material, and I don't even think it's an honorable. I don't know. I'm going to put it in thumbs up for now. I might change my mind later. Who knows? All right, next up we have Stardew Valley, specifically like the 1.6 update. If you don't know what the plot of Stardew Valley is, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's a farm game. It's farm sim. It's the one that's kicked off, I would say, the recent farm sim craze. Like at the beginning, it was just basically like a fan recreation of Harvest Moon, but now it's different and it's great. You know, I remembered when I was looking back and making this list that I actually did 14 streams of Stardew Valley 1.6, which is like a lot. I think it's a thumbs up. I liked it. It was fun. I wish I'd spent more time with it. And you know, that might be a 2025 thing. So we're going to do Stardew Valley as a thumbs up. Crush House. Crush House is a game where you're like the sole camera person for like a live streamed reality show called Crush House. 4 people come in and they all have like, you know, different drama with each other. You have different audiences that all like different things and you have to satisfy them with your camera work. And these can be people for like that are thirsty, that are just like, I want to see the hot people, you know? This could be people who are plumbers and so they want to see the water fixtures. But the thing is, I would be in getting a shot that had like things that 3 audiences would like, but it would only count for like 1, or like all of a sudden it would count for all 3, but then it would go away really quick. And it was just so frustrating to play. This one hurts my heart because on paper, made for me. If you don't know, I love Survivor. I like Big Brother. So like this seemed like on paper, a great game for me. And I loved the demo. But when I got the full game, I just found it frustrating. I found it extremely frustrating to play. And so despite my very high hopes, I have to put it into YouTuber Sun I wanted to like it so badly, guys, and I just didn't. Next up, we have Cult of the Lamb. It's basically like a management sim meets roguelite meets like Animal Crossing. You're a lamb, you are about to be sacrificed, but then this old god saves you, and so then you have to like pledge yourself to the god, and you assemble a cult in the old god's honor, and then you're fighting the bishops of the old faith or whatever. It's like you go out, you slash them up, you collect materials, you come back, you manage the cult. It's had, I think, like 4 or 5 major updates since it launched. I think it launched in 2022 or something like that, and it's still getting updates. I played one of the new updates this year, a lot of fun. It's just like, it still hits. I don't think it's my top 5 of the game because I just don't think I can do that for this game, but it's definitely a thumbs up, I would say. Next up, we have the actual Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. This is like the new Zelda game, the like new 2D adventure game, but this one centers Zelda. Link like falls into some weird dark dimension and you have to go save him, and to do it you can like create objects, copies of enemies that will go and fight in your honor. You can also have a sword. That's fun. But I liked it a lot because I just like Zelda. Zelda is my favorite game series, despite the fact that I started my channel on Animal Crossing. I was gonna like it. I think it's in my top 5. But we'll see, we'll see. Here's the thing, I didn't finish Echoes of Wisdom because this is a game that I'm like, I'll get back to it on stream eventually. I'm not gonna get back to it on stream probably. Anyways, next up we have Lightyear Frontier. Lightyear Frontier. What an interesting and creative game. It's like mech, but farm sim. You are on an alien planet and you pilot a mech and you're trying to clean up the planet, and it's based around like getting new crops that allow you to craft new upgrades that allow you to unlock new areas of the planet. As it is now, I feel like we're in like chapter 1 of this story. I got through the story that was there already and like was like cool, and it just was like, that's all we have so far. Early access. It's a game that I can't wait to play once it's fully out, and until it is, I probably won't play it again. I think this is the first one that I'm just gonna throw into honorable mentions because I know it's not gonna end up in the top 5, but like I really did like it. Palia is next. Palia, the cozy MMO of our dreams. It's definitely cozy. It's definitely an MMO. Playing it, I discovered that I don't like MMOs. I liked it so much for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. I think I actually started playing this in 2023 now that I'm actually thinking about it, but I'm not changing this again. And I think I'm gonna put it in meh. Every time I play it, I am interested for an hour, and then I'm like, oh my god, I have to do so much work to do fun stuff. I don't want to play this anymore. So I just don't play it. So we're putting it in meh. Sorry. Ooh, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I had never played a Paper Mario game before I played this one. It's very JRPG. This was a big year for Mario RPGs because we had Mario RPG, and then we also had this one. Basically, you're Mario, but like a 2D version. Peach, what do you know? She gets kidnapped, and you have to go and save her. And you do it with a bunch of different companions. It's very whimsical. Lots of text. Was not fun to play on stream because of all the text, but I still liked it, and it was fun. I got to the last level, and this one dragon is just beating my ass, and it's just the kind of thing where I'm just like, and now I'm like, okay, I know how it ends probably. And now I'm probably gonna get comments that are like, EJ, there's like a whole other 40 hours of this game. I liked it. It's great. I don't think is it top 5? We'll put it in honorable mention. I might bump it up to top 5. We'll see. We'll see. Coral Island is next. I have such a complicated relationship with Coral Island now. But Coral Island is basically like, it's a new farm sim. It feels a lot like Stardew Valley if it was 3D. That was obviously one of the games that it took its main inspiration from, but it also just like, it's a farm sim. They all have like these certain kind of like hallmarks of the genre. So it's all about like, what are they doing with that genre? How are they subverting expectations about the genre? All the characters are really hot, like really hot. Shout out to the artists. Some of the writing does leave a little bit to be desired, but I really appreciate the swing that it took. I played 100 days, but I played a full year, you know? And I did the first 100-day video in 2023, but like whatever, I finished it in 2024, we'll count it. The thing with Coral Island is there is a lot of jank. You have to look beyond that or else you're not gonna have a good time. But if you're someone who can't look beyond that, you probably won't like it. And as I returned to it, I found the jank less easy to look beyond. I don't want to put it in meh because that feels like kicking a puppy. I have such a soft spot in my heart for Coral Island. I'm gonna put it in thumbs up. We're gonna put it in thumbs up. Would I put it on the same level as these other games though? Yes, I would. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is one that I definitely did not start playing in 2024. I started playing in 2023 on the day it came out. I wouldn't even say I've done most of my playing of it in 2024, but I've been playing it a lot recently. I feel like I came back to it. There wasn't a major update. This is breaking the rules and I don't care. I'm listing it here and honestly it's going right to top 5. If you don't know what Tears of the Kingdom is, it's just the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Just buy the games and play them. This is one that I'm not even gonna give you. I'm not even gonna give you a summary. You should just know, frankly. I haven't even finished the game and I already know that I love it, you know? Core Keeper is next. Core Keeper is a survival game. It's very like procedurally generated map kind of thing. I played a little bit of it for a video that I did 2 years ago, and then I never returned to it. It came out when its 1.0 release, and so I sat down and I actually played it, and I really liked it. It's kind of a game that I kind of want to keep for myself at this point, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I just love exploring, you know? So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. This thumbs up thing, I might be too easy. Anyways, next is No Man's Sky, a game that I feel like everyone has played, except for me. I'm very late coming to No Man's Sky. We played it for one stream, and while I enjoyed it, I'm just gonna give it meh. Like I played it and I was like, cool, fun. And then I was like, okay. So that's where we are with it. I'm gonna zoom in because I don't like that you can see that text at the bottom. That's better. Next up, we have Cocoon. Cocoon is a puzzle game. It's like you play as like a little moth bug thing and you're carrying around marbles. If you place the marbles into a certain thing, you can go inside the marble and there's like a world within the world. And as you make changes in the world within the world, it affects the world, the overworld. It's very Inception-y, and it's a puzzle game, and it's a game that I like, but I've only played it once, and I want to play it more. I feel bad if I put it in meh. I would feel bad if I put it in meh, because I liked it. I just haven't played it a lot. Like, it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, you know? I'm gonna put it in meh, though. I am. I like it. It's beautiful. It's Annapurna. I love basically everything Annapurna does, even though I don't think they exist anymore. News. Haha. Layoffs continue. The game industry is a horrible industry to work in, and it's really bad to its workers, and we don't love that. So I think that's where I put Cocoon. Anyways, next up we have Witchwood. Witchwood is like you're collecting ingredients for potions and stuff. Witchwood is YouTuber Son. I just know it, and I don't really have any hard feelings about putting it there, honestly. I played it because one of my mods, Ass, who I love dearly, said, hey, you should play this, and I just did not find it very engaging. I don't love just collecting things, you know? That's not interesting to me. I say this as someone who like played Animal Crossing a lot as a kid, but it's different. And yeah, I just didn't like it that much. Next up, speaking of Halloween, we have Limbo. Limbo feels like a predecessor to Little Nightmares. I thought that Limbo came out in like 2023 or 2024 because Kato played it on her channel and I was like, oh, what's this new scary game? And then I went to download it to play it on my channel and I was like, oh shit, this shit came out in like 2011. And playing it, I would be lying if I said that I didn't feel like, oh, this game is like almost 15 years old, you know? It was fun, but I haven't finished it and I really have no desire to go back and finish it. So I'm gonna put it in the meh. Dave the Diver. This one, I'm gonna piss some of you off because I already know where it's going, okay? But Dave the Diver, it starts out, you're Dave, you're diving, you're going for fish. It's exploration. Every time you go in, there's like different fish and different, like the map is different. And at night you run like a sushi restaurant and it's like Diner Dash basically. And then the money that you get from that, you use to upgrade to get more fishing gear, to like be able to go down deeper, to get more fish, to collect more fish, and then you make more money and you see what's going on. And if the game was just that, it would be fine. And like, I get that there's plot. I like plot's cool, sure. But it felt like every hour of gameplay, they were like, okay, and now here's something else. And now here's another mechanic. Oh, and now here's a new thing that you have to do. Here's more objectives. And it got to the point, I think when I unlocked this thing where you could go and like farm fish, which like is a thing that happens, sure. I was like, I don't need this game to be a farm sim. So I said, I'm good. Because of that, I'm gonna put it into YouTuber Son. I really liked the beginning of it, but they kept throwing more shit on it. It's like, you know that saying, never leave the house without taking one thing off. This game looked in the mirror and said, I need more shit. And it didn't. So, you know. Next up, we have Fields of Mystera. It's a farm sim. It's pixel art. You might think Stardew, but it's basically like if Stardew and like Sailor Moon, Magical Girl, like anime, late 90s, like had a child. But Fields of Mystera, I think, changes itself enough from the Stardew Valley formula. It introduces enough mechanics. I think the story is very different. There's still an element of like rebuilding a town, but the enemy, there isn't really an enemy. There isn't like a Joja, you know? But I need these games to stop releasing in early access because I just want to play the whole thing. I just want to play the whole thing, you know? It's gonna go into honorable mention. Nah, I'll put it in top 5 for now. I am very skeptical of it staying in top 5 till the end though. So next up we have A Little to the Left. A Little to the Left is essentially like a tidying game. It's like arranging things in like a very type A way so that they line up and they like look visually interesting. Pattern recognition, type A organization, very much me. I'm very type A. So, you know, I'm very particular about the way things are. So like I get that and I liked it. It felt fun. It felt cool to play. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every second playing it, I was like, oh my God. Sometimes some of the solutions just felt like, what? Why is that the solution? And then some of them felt so obvious that I was like, yeah. So it didn't give me the same feeling of solving the way that Obin did. Very different puzzle games though. I'm putting it in this thing, but I need you to know I would replay it. I've considered re-downloading the DLC and like playing that, but I have no real desire to do that. So unfortunately, I think it's gonna go in meh. Sorry. Next up we have Chance of Sonar. Chance of Sonar is such a cool fucking game. It's another puzzle game. It's another like logic game, but it's basically like you get into this tower, very Tower of Babylon, where like every floor speaks a different language. And so you have to figure out through context clues and like process of elimination and all that stuff, what each like the symbols means. And then you like input them into a book. If you get a page of 3 symbols correct, it'll like confirm it, which then like helps you figure out the rest of them. Okay. But it's like you're also going up. It has to deal with like class, the idea of like a language barrier being a reason for discrimination, for marginalization, for exploitation, all these Asians, you know? And it has a really nice ending and I really enjoyed it. It has a very hopeful ending. I don't necessarily want to go back and replay it, but I really liked playing it. And it's a game that I look back on and I'm like, fuck, I love that game. And like, if someone's like, oh, I want to play a game like a puzzle game, I'm like, great, Chance of Sonar. Chance of Sonar or Oberdin are like the 2 that I now am like, you should play this one. So I'm gonna put this into the top 5. Maybe we'll cull the herd at the end. How about that? Because speaking of, next up is Caravan Sandwich. And this is a game that is gonna be in my top 5. Now, this is a game that I only started playing on stream, and then I played the rest of it off stream in like a weekend. Because it's a 12, maybe 15 hours of content game. And oh my God, I loved it. It's like open world exploration with like a van and it's on like an alien planet. You basically are like coming back and you're trying to find your sister because you got a distress signal from her, but she disappeared like 5 years ago and you left, you moved away. And so you're dealing with like moving back to this like small town from the big city. But it's also about like corporations and like capitalism, you know, Das Kapital, yeah. And it's also, it's so queer in an unexceptional way. You know what I'm saying? Queerness is treated as such a mundane thing in this world. I love the story. It made me cry like a little baby. I'm actually really happy that I got it for myself. I really encourage you to get it for yourself. This is a game that I cannot sing its praises enough. So I'm gonna put it in the top 5. Okay. Oh my God, I forgot one. All is good in the world. Okay, next. This is a weird one. Dead by Daylight. Obviously not new for 2024, but I played it for the very first time in 2024 during my like 12-hour 4-year streamiversary celebration. I had a good time playing it. I ended stream and I promptly returned that shit, mainly because it was $60 fucking or something like that. It was a lot of money. I don't remember how much it was. Also, if you don't know Dead by Daylight, it's like a asymmetrical online survival game is what it's called. It's kind of gory, but it's like at a certain point it's just campy. When I was first playing it, people are like, you said this wasn't scary? This is horrifying. And I was like, oh, I really like horror movies, so it was like not that scary to me. Oh God, no. But you know, I don't like online multiplayer games, and I especially don't like the model of Dead by Daylight where it's like, oh no, I could let down these strangers that I don't know and I hope they don't get mad at me. And that just activates my own specific breed of social anxiety. So it's really difficult for me to play those games. That said, I did enjoy my time playing it, but I don't have much of a desire to play it again. And I've heard that it can be very toxic, so I just don't think I'm gonna play it again. It feels rude to put it in meh. I'll put it in meh, whatever. Next up, we have, hilariously, Fortnite. I did not play Fortnite for the first time in 2024. I think I played it for the first time in 22, maybe? The first time I played it, I had almost a mental breakdown. It was mainly because I played duos and I played it with someone that I didn't know, and I was so bad at the game and I felt so bad for my partner for having to deal with me. I downloaded it again in 2024 because an online friend was like, I want to play Fortnite. And I was like, well, sure, fine. Okay, I'll play it. And I played it with him and he carried me a lot. But then I started to play it on my own and I actually was like, not that bad. Obviously, I was like placed in the really easy rounds at the beginning. And so I got like Battle Royale, victory #1 Battle Royale. I don't know, shooters are very like hit or miss, and mostly miss in the case of me, you know? As you can tell by the other games I play, I don't like to play a lot of multiplayer games. I'm very much a solo gamer, but like it's fun. Like it's a game that I like think about like, I should boot that up and play that and I'll probably have fun. So shocking everyone, I'm gonna give Fortnite a thumbs up. Last, but certainly not least, even though I kind of forgot it, is web fishing. How did I forget web fishing? I love web fishing. Web fishing is like, you're in like an N64 Animal Crossing little town looking thing, and you go around and you catch fish. That's it. You sell the fish and you can upgrade things and you can get more rare fish and better fish and, you know, level up, number go up, fun. And then also you can play with friends and a bunch of friends can come and you can be in a chat room together. Given my last thing about me saying like, I don't like multiplayer games, I like this one. I wish I played it more in my free time. I really, truly do. But I really had a moment with it. And I'm going to put that in my top 5, which now is the most crowded category, which is not the way it's supposed to be. So we need to call this. So the top 5 right now as it stands: Hades 2, Return of the Obin, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Tears of the Kingdom, Fields of Mystera, Chants of Sonar, Caravan Sandwich, Web Fishing. Oh no, I like so many of these. I guess that's the point. I love Zelda. I'm gonna move Echoes of Wisdom down just because I feel like, you know. Okay, we have to cut 2. We have to cut 2? Oh God, you guys are gonna laugh. Or maybe you're not, maybe you'll have pitchforks, who knows? I'm gonna move Fields of Mystera into honorable mentions. Now hear me out. Part of this is because early access, and I do feel like you could only build to a certain point. I stand by this, I think this feels right to me. Thomas, you have to help. I don't wanna drop down Hades 2. As much as it is an unfinished game, it's early access. I'm going against everything I said. I think there is a right and a wrong way to do early access, and I think Supergiant does early access right. I also haven't reached a wall in the game yet, and I do know that there is a wall in the game. Talking about that and realizing about the wall and stuff, considering that's early access, it can be my top 5 next year, I think. So I think I'm actually gonna drop it down. Because here's the thing, Chants of Sonar was like a full, complete experience. I really enjoyed it. Obra Dinn, oh my God, I just like, that was another game that it just like activated the hyperfixation. Web fishing was just so much fun. I love the vibe of the game. I love the culture around the game. And then Caravan Sandwich, I loved it so much. And Tears of the Kingdom, I love playing that game. I worked this morning and I'm streaming after recording this. The entire morning, I would remember that I was gonna play Tears of the Kingdom on stream today, and I would get excited. I mean, come on, Thomas. So that is my list. I have to say, very happy that there's really nothing in the DDV thing. I didn't hate playing any game that I played this year, except for the one time that I played Disney Dreamlight Valley again. I do just have to say, the fact that I, in this year, played 27 games is so crazy to me. Before I became a content creator, honestly, I probably only played like 40 or 50 games in my lifetime. It's so fun and awesome to me that I have this external motivation from you guys to explore new games. I count myself very lucky because of that. Whether this is your first time watching, which, hello, hi, subscribe, or this is your 7,000th video, which is impossible, but I will let you live in your lie. I just want to say thank you for being here, for watching a video, for watching me talk about games. This year has been very tumultuous for me personally, and I really appreciated having this little corner of the internet. So thank you guys so much for that. I hope I will see you in 2025. But before I do that, let me know in the comments what your favorite game of the year was. And if you can't pick one, you can pick 5. I'll allow it. I'll see you guys in 2025. Until then, I will say, stay cute, stay hydrated, and most importantly, stay you. Okay, bye. All right, stop that. Comment, stop. Hey. Classic.